We all love him. One of the best YouTubers on all of YouTube. Valor Sports Media. Valor Sports Media.
I was not born until 2001. You've been around quite a bit. Take me back real quick, Wayland, to that championship year we played Miami and George Teague and everything. Going into that season, what was like the media perspective on Alabama? I mean, were they hyped up, or
Yeah.
was it kind of one of those like, was that a Lank type of year where they kind of proved some doubters wrong, do you think?
Well, they had to prove some doubters wrong. They didn't give them a chance against Miami. I mean, there was
Yeah.
no chance, no chance, no chance. And Gene and the team won. They won some close games that year. I mean, it certainly wasn't a blowout every game. But Alabama was solid as a rock back then. That '92 defense ranks as one of the best defenses ever to be. Ever to play at Alabama. I mean, you can go and look at the points allowed. You can go and look at other years versus there were better defenses. No, go on. Anyway, I don't know, Chris. '92 was just a. Did you pull it up? There you
This
go.
is their schedule at least. They beat
Yeah.
Vandy, Southern Miss, Arkansas, La Tech,
Right.
South Carolina, and Tulane. Number 13, Tennessee. They were ranked number 4. And by the way, they started out a top 10 team in number 9.
Yeah.
So they beat 13, they beat 16. Having a hard time scrolling here. Let me see. 12, Florida. Number 1, Miami. Obviously, the national title game. I mean, they earned their way there, but it seemed like if you want to look at like where they were ranked throughout the season to begin number 9, so they were a little bit doubted, but at the same time they had to work their way up throughout the year, it seems, and they had some really good games in terms of dominant performances.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great season. Like I said, there were some close games there, but I mean, Florida had 3 losses when we played them for the SEC championship. If I'm not mistaken. I know they had 2. I think they had 3. And you can pull it up and look
Yeah.
and see that year. I believe they had 3. If they would have beat Alabama, that would have been a disaster. On Roy
They
Kramer.
had three.
Yeah.
They had 3 going into the SEC title because they lost all of them on the road. 14 Tennessee, 24 Mississippi State, and number 3 Florida State. All 3 of those games they ended up losing. So they ended up being around 8-3, 9-3, whatever it would have been, in that SEC title when Alabama played them. But they were still a really good team. I mean, they got blown out in the losses, but then at the same time they beat like number 7 Georgia in a close game. They won all their conference games outside of Tennessee and Mississippi State. I mean, you get to the SEC championship, you get to the SEC championship. I don't care what anybody says. You always try to find a way to earn your right to get to that game. And that year they did to play Alabama. And it ended up being a pretty close game, 28-21 Alabama. It was close. It was really, really good. I've watched it on YouTube and stuff. I've gotten a chance to see that team in terms of watching some of Alabama that year. But looking at Florida side of things, they were a really good team too, outside of maybe what it looked like on paper.
Yeah, they were. They gave Alabama all they wanted. I mean, Alabama. Yeah, of course, Antonio Langham won the game for them with the interception, running back, in the end zone. That broke their back. Of course, he done it the week before in the Auburn game. Also, done the
Yeah.
same thing. He won the Auburn game and the Florida game, basically. Well, he did. That's exactly what won it. But it was a team effort. But those plays helped them take them out. But it was a great season. Like I said, the '92 defense will go down as one of the best defenses ever at Alabama. But Not the best, but it's close to. It was close to one of the best defenses. The '61 team was the best defense. I think they allowed 2.5, 2.5 points each game. I think the '61 team did. Coach Bryant's first national championship team, and I don't think.
2.5?
Yeah, 2.5. If you look that up,
Dang.
I think that's right. 2.5. It was under 3.
Wow. Yeah.